Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the vlog. Last night was such a rough night with Lilia. I don't think we've had that rough of a night since before we got admitted to the hospital. Like, it was rough. She was like up, I would say, like every hour, and I mean she was up for like 10 minutes, so I only got like, you know, 30 to 40 minute sleeping intervals literally all night. And then she woke up and she was awake at like 2:30 till like 3:30, and then Mauricio went to work, so he woke up, so it was just it was a really rough night for me and for Lily. And I think she was a little bit cold as well, because we keep the house at 72 at night per recommendations for an infant sleeping environment, but I think it was a little too cold for her, like with the fan that they recommend also. So we ended up having to put her in a thicker swaddle like halfway through the night, and I feel super bad if she was cold all night, but now I know that we will keep her in like a warmer swaddle from now on. But yeah, that's like, I'm pumping right now. If you hear that noise, I'm pumping. I'm trying to up my supply just a little bit because she is not gaining as much weight as they want her to. Obviously, she was sick for a month, and I mean, she was on one of the strongest antibiotics on the market, and they're not the least bit concerned that it's anything to do with my milk supply or my milk contents or anything like that. But I want to up my supply in case something does happen and we need to like help her gain some more weight and we need to supplement. I have plenty of breast milk to give her. I'm not against giving her formula, but if I'm able to give her breast milk, and that's my personal choice, I want to be able to do that. So now when she eats, I pump immediately after. And here recently, I've been putting her on my boob every 2 hours to help her gain weight. So I've been, you know, if she's sleeping, the longest I let her go now is 2.5 hours instead of like, I was pushing it to 4 sometimes, but I still don't wake her up at night to feed, but she does wake up herself to feed. I think because she's getting used to being fed every 2 hours, and I'm fine with that because she needs to gain weight and kind of make up for the weight she didn't gain. She's only gained 1 pound since her 1 month appointment. So she's like 8 pounds, 13 ounces now, and she should be about, they wanted her to be in the 9 pound range, closer to 10. So next week we're hoping she's in that range. But because of her being sick, they do expect her to be like behind more than she was. So she was always been like in the 20th percentile, and throughout my entire pregnancy, when she was born, she always falls within the 20th percentile range. But now she's down like to the 3% range, which is a huge drop. But in the hospital, she was projectile vomiting, she was having diarrhea constantly. It's actually weird to be home and her not to have as much poop as she did before, because I'm used to her having poop every diaper. And you know, I thought that was normal because she was a newborn, but now I've done lots of research, and about 2 months they stop pooping as much because their body starts retaining a lot of the nutrients. So I'm hoping that that's the case, but she has plenty of wet diapers and she is pooping at least 1 to 2 times a day. Now I'm just sitting here and Lilia is finally asleep in her glider, and I should be sleeping, but instead I'm pumping like I should be to help increase my supply. She ate, and I've pumped about 3 extra ounces from both boobs. So I'm assuming she got around 3 or 4 ounces, because if I would not pump, if I didn't feed her in the morning and I just pumped, I would probably get like 6 or 7 ounces in the morning. The morning is always the time that you produce the most milk, so I'm pretty sure she got 3 to 4 ounces. She fed twice this morning, like 2 times within an hour, and she got like lots of milk. But obviously it's like you're more of the foremilk. The foremilk, is that what it's called? Hind milk. Hind milk is, I think, is the thicker one. The foremilk is the one that comes first and is a little bit watery. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she got a lot of the beginning milk, so that's why she's fed 2 times. And then hopefully that second time she got some more of the fattier milk. But yeah, it looks like I've pretty much plateaued at the 3 ounce mark, which I don't even know why I say plateau, because I should feel extremely lucky that I can produce the milk for her. But Lilia turned 2 months old yesterday, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, and I got these super cute pictures of her for her two months on like how I've been doing them, like for her 1 month and stuff. And today I'm gonna do Mauricio's pictures that he does with the pizza box and the pizza slices, so I'm gonna do that today. But yeah, I don't even know what we're gonna do today. I just felt like coming on here and chit-chatting and talking about real life to start off this vlog. But yeah, I'm literally so exhausted.
Come on. Got in your diaper, okay? It's in your diaper. Oh, you got 4 diapers. Good, good. That's good. Oh, stinky. You're stinky. Yeah. Yeah, you're stinky. You're stinky. Are you stinky, girl? Yeah, you're stinky. Are you a stinky girl? Yes, you are. You're a stinky, stinky, stinker. Stinker, stinker, stinker. Will you change your diaper now? Or are you just gonna keep being super, super cute? Both? Okay. Are you looking at the camera? Say hi, guys. Hi. Hi. Say hi. Hi. Can you say hi? Say hi. You almost learned it. I say to you so much. Your tongue is pink from your amoxicillin, huh? Here, you showing them? Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Are you learning that that's tickling and we're not trying to be mean? Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. No, you still think it's mean. One day you won't think it's mean. You'll be like, Mom, tickle me. Mom, tickle me. And look at you. Look at this outfit. It's still a little big, but you look so cute. Hello, happy baby. Hello, happy baby. Look how cute you are. You want to talk to them still? You ready to go eat something? Yeah, you ready to go eat? We're back. Right, we're back. You ready? Are you ready? Alright, so I want to sit down and kind of talk about everything that happened this last month because I'm getting lots of questions about it and I'd rather just put it in one video. It's easy for me to I say to come here to get most answers instead of typing it out or trying to get people to understand if they don't really want to understand. So this is an option, an easy option for me just to put everything in one place to send everyone to, and just makes it a lot easier. So the first thing obviously I want to talk about is her bacterial meningitis. That is going to be the main focus of this part of the video. Obviously I want to answer some of the questions I've gotten a lot of, and it's actually, I narrowed it down to about 5 questions and hoping I can answer all of like the odds and end questions within those 5 questions, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna start by doing that. So the first question that I'm going to answer is, what were her symptoms? I talked about it a little bit on Instagram. I talked about it a little bit on the video of me posting that we were in the hospital and she had bacterial meningitis. She did not have any symptoms. The only thing that I noticed differently about her was that her legs went purple that morning in her glider, and they don't even think that that's related at all. They think that she may have just been sitting wrong in her glider, or her diaper was on a weird way, too tight, whatever, because babies already do have really poor circulation, so they thought maybe that was the cause of it. So when we got to the pediatrician that morning for that particular reason, that's why we called the pediatrician, was because she had purple legs. They discovered that her heart rate was extremely high and they thought she was in SVT, so they sent us to the emergency room, and that's when they discovered it was not SVT and there was something going on, and they started immediately treating her with antibiotics for an infection. Are you being super cute? You're almost there with your head control, right? Yeah, you're almost there. You're almost there. And now I need to look at the next question. Please don't flail your head back. Please don't do it. Okay. The next question that I get a lot of is, what is this bacteria? A lot of people have never heard of it. A lot of people don't really understand how she got it. So the bacteria is called Pantea. I'll put it right here of how it's spelled. But guys, even the doctors didn't even know what this bacteria was. They knew it was a gram-negative bacteria, but that is partially the reason why they called it an infectious disease, because they had no idea what this bacteria was. And infectious disease, that's kind of like their specialty, is anything sort with bacteria, infections, anything of that nature. That is their specialty. So this bacteria is what? You don't want me to talk about it? You don't want me to talk about it? You want your pinkies? You're probably sleepy. You just ate. So what was I saying? Okay. It is very rare, actually extremely rare to see in humans. Usually you will see it if someone gets pricked by a flower or a plant, or they have an open wound caused by a plant or vegetation, or if something of that nature. Another possibility and another way to get it is having an open wound in a hospital. They have had reported cases of it appearing there as well. No idea how, considering it is a plant-based or a plant bacteria, but yes, those are the two common ways to get this bacteria. So this bacteria is, if it is somehow ingested into the body, which they think was her case, because infectious disease licked her from top to bottom. I mean, behind her ears, in her scalp, between her toes, between her fingers, all over her, to look for a open wound that could have been caused from any sort of anything. They were really looking for any indicator of an open wound, and they literally saw nothing, not even a scratch on her body. Some people were saying, well, it might have healed. If that was the main source of the infection, it most likely would have healed, and it would have been, you know, scabbed over, or it could have even been oozing or looked infected of that nature. So in her particular case, they think that she ingested it. And this is kind of like a sticky subject, because I don't want to talk about where they believe she got it from, because I don't want to scare other people. I don't want to freak out other people. Do I want to raise awareness, and not necessarily raise awareness, but bring attention to what could have possibly caused this? Absolutely. But are we 100% sure that it was this? No. Will we ever know at this point? Probably not, because we cannot find anyone to help us figure it out. So what they think it came from was her gripe water, her nighttime gripe water. They really believe that that would have been the only way she would have ingested this bacteria, which this is actually the third question, is where did it come from? But they kind of like leads all into each other. Another way she could have gotten it is from a contaminated bottle, but at that point she had never had a bottle. She had only ever drank from my breast directly. So there's no way for her to have gotten it from bacteria. Also, they thought formula. So the only thing that changed in her routine from week 4 to when we were admitted to the hospital, which was she was almost 5 weeks old, was her nighttime gripe water. She had to be 4 weeks old to take it, and gripe water was seriously a miracle for us. She was a super colicky baby when she was a newborn, and it was really, really hard for us to, you know, manage her. And like, you know, it was just really hard. So gripe water was like our saving grace. And we started introducing the nighttime gripe water for at nighttime. And that's where they believe, and it's the possibility that it could have came from there. Is that exactly where it came from? No, because she had gotten it from, you know, accidentally touching, or one of us touching a plant and touching her, and then her sucking her fingers and getting it. No, that's not completely out of the blue. That's not completely not a way. Okay. Obviously that's something that could have happened, but the amount of bacteria that had to ingest and be put into her body to cause this bad of an infection and this rapidly had to be pretty significant amount. So if we were to touch a plant and then touch her and then her put her hands in her mouth, there's a possibility that it could have been, you know, decreased drastically. And now I want to talk about why I don't want you guys to freak out and throw out all your gripe water. Like if you're watching this and your heart just dropped and you're like getting rid of your gripe water, don't do it quite yet, because I'm gonna make your mind, I'm gonna make your whole body calm down just a little bit by talking about the next thing. So the reason why they think this bacteria infected her body so quickly, so fastly, because it's not prone to liking human bodies. It doesn't thrive there. It doesn't want to be there. It wants to be on plants. It wants to be in vegetation. It wants to be in feces. It's been found in human feces and also animal feces, but the reason why is because we possibly could have ingested it with vegetables or whatever the case may be, but because it's a gut bacteria, it will stay in the gut. It doesn't usually like to travel, and it will eventually find its way out in your feces or urine, which is why it's also found in those components as well. She's definitely like, you want to go in your, you got some more energy, girlfriend? I mean, she's been up since like 8 and it's 10:30, so I thought she would be sleeping by now, but she's not tired. You not tired? You want to play? No, and your mask. We'll see if she'll sit there for maybe a second. All right, like I was saying, if it does enter the body, they like to think, and it's been shown to be a gut bacteria. It goes into the gut and it eventually finds its way out into your feces, which is why it's found there. I think I said that already. So with Lilia, when I was pregnant with her, they told me that she had hydronephrosis. Well, when at 20 weeks, they thought she had hydronephrosis. I had a repeat ultrasound at 24 weeks, and they told me that she was kind of like on the cusp of having excess fluid in her kidneys, but it wasn't enough for them to continue monitoring it. It wasn't enough. Let me take off my glasses for this, because this is where it gets good juicy. And there's a glare on them. But so when she was born, they never did anything with her kidneys. They never looked at her kidneys. They never made sure that there was excess fluid. They never did anything of that nature. They just kind of brushed it off as, and I'm not gonna say that it's like something they should have brushed off, but it's very common to have hydronephrosis shown on an ultrasound and it not end up being anything. But within our case scenario, it ended up being something that could have killed our daughter in the long run if we had not gotten her the treatment she needed as quickly as we got it. So I think it's something that should be more acted on and not just like kind of brushed off and assumes that it's going to all be okay and it will go away by the time they're born. And in most cases that is the case, that it will kind of fix itself in utero. In her case, that was not the case. So for me, I feel like it'd be better to get preventative care and make sure that there is nothing. So if it is seen, you know, you keep following it until they're born, and then when they're born, they check it and it's either, okay, they're fine, or okay, this is the steps we need to take. Because in our case, there would have been steps we needed to take, and then we could have avoided this probably in entirety. So the bacteria most likely traveled down from her mouth into her gut, through her stomach, through her intestines, and it was finally finding its way out. Like I said, it wants its way out. It's not going to stay in the human body most of the time. That's what it does. And it found her kidney abnormalities. It found her hydronephrosis. It found her dual collective system. It found her UTI. It found her reflux, and it was able to thrive off of the infection that was already starting from a UTI. Now what she has, which is hydronephrosis, she has a dual collective system, and she also has reflux in her kidneys. So that's another question too. I think this is question number 4, is what were the abnormalities in her kidneys to cause her to be so sick? So if your baby is taking gripe water and they're healthy and they've been taking it fine and nothing's wrong, there's no reason to stop it. For us, we took it, something happened, and now we stopped it. But if you're taking, it's just like with any medication. I mean, anything you can take has sides and symptoms, even birth control. Some people birth control works really well for, sometimes birth control sucks at, and your body just reacts so negatively to it. You gain weight, you get sick, it doesn't work, you get acne, and others you like lose weight, you feel better, you have clear skin. You know, you have like 2 sides of the spectrum on any type of medication out there, whether it's over the counter, whether It is a prescription, and unfortunately, I didn't even know that gripe water, and I probably should have known this, is it's not FDA approved, which I guess I should have known that. And if you aren't aware, gripe water is made of herbs and herbal remedies and stuff of that nature. So it living in that environment is very highly possible. But your baby getting sick from this bacteria is very, very, very slim. Like I said, it's so rare to infect a human body. And the only reason it got to her is because of this abnormality that was very much ignored in utero. Well, not ignored. I shouldn't say ignored, because they did pay attention to it for like 4 weeks. And then they decided that it was... And then they decided that it was fine and they didn't need to follow up on it. But in her case, they didn't need to follow up on it. So going on to her kidney abnormalities, what are they? Should you be worried about it if you see hydronephrosis on your ultrasounds? If I ever have another baby, obviously we already know that we have a baby that was born with all these renal abnormalities. So we would always be super cautious, and probably, if I'm not being dramatic, I am being dramatic. I would probably just go to an OB and ask to be referred to a high-risk specialist. Why? This is my personal preference. I don't ever want this happening to me again, nor my future babies. I don't want it to happen to Lilia again, and that would just be something really important. As of right now, me and Mauricio are pretty solid that we don't want another baby for a really long time. This was a really scary thing for us to experience. It took a really big toll on our relationship. It's still taking its toll on our relationship, and it's something we have to work through and get through together before we even consider expanding our family. And getting her the treatment and getting her as healthy as we possibly can is our main focus. And there could be surgeries, there could be multiple surgeries in her life for this, and she will always need follow-up procedures for this follow-up appointments for her renal abnormality. It's not just going to be clicked and it goes away. Surgery can fix it, surgery can help fix it, but it's not always guaranteed to fix the problem completely. She's just talking. You're talking. She's just on her mat right here. She loves that thing. She's been on it like all day today, and she's been pretty chill. She's practicing rolling over, which she hasn't actually mastered yet, but she's been practicing, and she kicks her feet and her hands, and the little things that are on here, these little things right here, you guys can see in the corner of the camera, they're too high up for her. So sometimes when I want her to like work with her hands, I have to put her in her boppy and put her in the little wooden thing that we made so that her hands can actually reach like the little dangly things. Are you over now? Are you in your binkies? So sorry, I'm like keep going off in it, like going off what I'm saying. Okay, so we're gonna start with her hydronephrosis, which is the most common thing. For her, she had elevated levels when she was 20 weeks in utero. She had on the cusp levels when she was 24 weeks in utero. From there on, I have no idea how much excess fluid she has in her kidneys now, or when she got admitted, or anything of that nature. I just know she does have excess fluid in her kidneys, which is hydronephrosis. Are you cold? So the hydronephrosis is fixable in a sense, but their main concern as of right now is her dual collective system. I talked about it in a little bit in the last video. So she has 2 ureters on her left kidney, and she has 1 ureter on her right kidney. The one on the left, the extra one, that leads to the top of her kidney. So think of her kidney as a 2-story house. This is how they described it to us, so this I'm gonna describe it to you guys. Think of her kidney as a 2-story house, and there is an exit from the top floor and there's an exit from the bottom floor. Well, let's say that it starts to flood. Hydronephrosis, excess fluid, starts to flood in the house. It starts to flood upstairs and downstairs together, and the downstairs is able to push out all that extra fluid pretty much just fine through the ureter, and it goes down into the bladder. The top portion of her kidney, so upstairs, has another ureter that uses that as its exit. That ureter is either A, dead, or B, about to die, or C, it's clogged. And it can be clogged from the top or it can be clogged from the bottom. This is what they don't know yet. Okay, so that is why she's gonna have to have a MAG-3 test done. A MAG-3 test done is going to determine the function of her kidneys and the ureters and the bladder. And that will determine whether the top portion of her left kidney and the extra ureter is in fact dying or dead or fine. If it is dead, they will have to remove it because that is definitely prone for infection. If the kidney is dying, they probably will continue to monitor and keep her on prophylactic antibiotics like she is right now. If it's fine, they probably won't do anything with it and continue keeping her on a prophylactic antibiotic. The reflux is stage 4. So again, the ureters, for some reason the little valve at the bottom of the ureters that leads to the bladder, probably something is wrong with that. What was I talking about? Okay, so basically she just has a bunch of things that wrong with her renal system. I don't know if you guys want exact details, but I feel like I went over the majority of it, that if she has reflux, that's also something that could result in surgery as well. It's okay, baby. It's okay. So the last question that I want to answer is, could she get sick again? And there's always that possibility. There's a possibility that anyone can get sick at any point. There's a lot of dangerous things in this world that we're not aware of that can be dangerous. Like this, grape water, the plants, wherever this came from. We didn't know that that was dangerous for her at that time. Do we know now there's a possibility? Absolutely. But there's more of a chance of us getting in a car accident than her getting this bacteria. There's more likely of her chance of us getting bit by a shark than her getting this bacteria. That's how rare getting this bacteria is. So could she get sick again? There's always a chance. Could it be a different bacteria? Absolutely. We are taking all the preventative measures we can, such as prophylactic antibiotics. We change her diaper probably every hour to hour and a half, sometimes even sooner than that. If we notice the slightest blue on her diaper, it's a time for change. We don't leave her in any type of anything diaper. And that should just be like common practice. She's extremely prone to UTIs, which is why they have her on this prophylactic antibiotics until they decide what to do with her kidneys, until they decide what the results of the MAG-3 will help us. But they want her to be off of antibiotics for 4 to 6 weeks, off the hardcore ones, not her prophylactic ones. So we're looking at about 3 to 5 more weeks before we do that. She will have to be under anesthesia, and it will be an outpatient procedure. And I'm not exactly sure what a MAG-3 is. I'm pretty sure he said they put some sort of dye in her, through an IV, and they watch it go through her renal system, and they kind of just watch to see the function of the renal system. I'm not exactly sure if that's how it works, but I think that's what he said. And yeah, there's always a possibility she could get sick again, but we're taking all the measures we can. I've deep cleaned this house. We have an air purifier. I used to use more, should I say, earth-friendly cleaning materials in my house, but now I'm kind of obsessed with using like kills 99.9% bacteria and germs until she gets better. But yeah, that's basically where we're at right now with all this going on. We're so lucky she's still here, and we're so lucky that, you know, we caught it. I didn't catch it. People keep giving me credit for mom tuition. Guys, I solemnly swear, I do believe 1000% it was our guardian angels that turned her legs purple that day. It was like someone, my dad or anyone on Mauricio's family, that were like, something's not right, you need to get her medical attention now. Purple legs. Like, that's what they did. They knew that I would freak out and Mauricio would freak out over something like that. So something so simple to change her legs, I really do believe it was our guardian angels watching over her and letting us know like something's not right. Because I took her temperature, it was fine. She never had a fever, she was acting herself, she fed and nursed fine, and she had diapers just fine. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I feel like I talked a lot, and you know, yeah, I just talked a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.
Life is a winding road.